Hello everyone and welcome to my EastEnders Media News channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Star of EastEnders Shona McGarty has shared the uncontrolled emotions she withheld during her last moments. After 16 years, McGarty announced in July 2023 that she was leaving the Whitney Dean role. This week's episode will be the character's last one. Whitney's departure occurs after earlier this week, when she and partner Zack welcomed their daughter Dolly. In addition, the soon-to-be parents have been organizing their wedding, which is about to go awry when Whitney learns that her fiancé-to-be had an affair with her friend Lauren Branning. McGarty told TV Times magazine that Whitney's last moments left her co-stars clearly moved, and the director chose to include those moments in the episode. Whitney had to cry during my final moment, of course. During the scene, Natalie Cassidy, who plays Sonia Fowler, gave me a hug and we both started crying. The director mentioned that Sonia would likely be offended, so they left that in, she remarked. The performer continued by sharing her thoughts on reading the scripts for her character's leave, noting, "I loved it when I read her exit storyline because it made sense. It serves to remind the viewer of her past experiences and identity. It makes me feel so nostalgic and made me cry. It brought back memories of my journey and how far I've come with Patsy Palmer, the actress who plays Bianca Jackson. It's stunning." Jacqueline Jossa, who plays Lauren, and I were talking about the scene before we filmed it and saying how iconic it felt, the actress said in reference to filming Whitney and Zack's iconic wedding scenes. "It seemed as if we were writing history, and for that I am grateful. Being in front of so many cast members made me feel a little uneasy, but as Whitney found out the truth, everything became silent. However, it had a vintage EastEnders vibe." In the Thursday, May 16th, episode of EastEnders, Whitney Dean's Shona McGarty, life took an abrupt turn, and she knew that a ticking time bomb was lurking around. Whitney's labor pains started while she and Lauren Branning, Jacqueline Jossa, were stuck in stepmother Bianca Jackson's Patsy Palmer van. Penny Branning, Kitty Castledine, who thought she was helping Whit and Lauren patch things up after a dispute, lied to Bianca to stop her from looking for Whitney, while Whit worried that history was going to repeat itself with her baby girl. None the wiser, groom Zack, James Farrar, was confronted by an inebriated Callum Highway, Tony Clay, for being Whitney's Mr. Wrong and Bianca. After discovering that a stripper had covered him in whipped cream during the sten-do, Zack's older sister Sharon Letitia Dean, had to take the inebriated Zack upstairs, where he revealed to Linda Carter, Kelly Bright, that he had previously had sex on that sofa. As Bianca left the party with a bottle from the Vic, she became enraged and heard Whitney screaming inside the vehicle. I broke through the door to let Whit and Lauren out, and Brittany Wainwright, Lola Campbell, used a block to smash the window to obtain the extra keys and take the expectant mother to the hospital. Star McGarty gave a masterful performance that left Whitney terrified that she might lose her tiny girl, just as she had lost baby Peach, who had been diagnosed with Edwards syndrome the year before. Whit recognized Lindsay, Catherine Bond, as the same nurse who assisted her in giving birth to Peach. Lindsay was carrying a baby she never imagined having, and Whitney acknowledged that she felt Lindsay's arrival was a bad omen, having had a similar loss herself. While Chelsea Fox, Zara Abrahams, alerted the pub and Sharon gave Zack a new classic line, "Get your knickers on, you're having a baby." Bianca and Lauren were there to assist Whitney. Zack had to be rushed to the hospital by Sonia Fowler, Natalie Cassidy. Fearing the worst, Whitney's emotions overcame her, but Brittany stopped her from placing the blame on herself by telling Whit that she was the best thing in my life. Whitney was reassured by Lindsay and the doctor that her baby was doing well, and Bianca gave a motivational speech, reminding the audience of the difficult time she had to deal with Grant Mitchell, Ross Kemp, as a midwife. Following a heartfelt speech by Bianca declaring her love for Whitney responded, "I love you too, Mum." Soon Whitney's baby was here, and in the stressful moments that followed, the child finally let out a healthy cry right before Zack arrived. In the hallway, filled with remorse despite Lauren's best efforts to remain composed over her affair with Zack, they finally decided to carry their betrayal to their grave. Sadly for them, Whitney heard what they were saying. Zack pursued her, but before he could stop her, Whitney and baby dolly Dean Hudson were being photographed, and Whitney was giving Zack a really mean look. For Whitney, who has experienced far too much pain in her time in Walford, this episode marked a poignant turning point, even though you'll have to wait until next week to see how that specific drama plays out. Will her happily ever after come to pass? In the most recent episode of EastEnders, Whitney Dean, Shona McGarty, found herself in a dangerous scenario when she went into labor while stranded in a truck with her cunning best friend Lauren Branning, Jacqueline Jossa. Fortunately, the day started off beautifully at the Queen Vic, where Whitney and her fiancé Zack Hudson, James Farrar, were getting ready for their stand-do. Lauren, who had recently had an affair with the groom, poured herself into her role as maid of honor. Whitney, decked up as Angelina Jolie, arrived early. With stepmother Bianca Jackson, Patsy Palmer, who was aware of Zack and Lauren's treachery, was unhappy when Lauren told her to avoid Whit following their argument, even if Whit was enjoying the festivities. Bianca threatened to do it herself if Lauren didn't tell Whitney the truth before the party. However, in the bar kitchen, a distraught Lauren, now decked up like Victoria Beckham's Posh Spice, could only manage to tell Whitney that she thought Zack wasn't good enough for her. This was more than enough to infuriate a heavily pregnant Whit. Lauren apologized and hurried away, telling Bianca that Whit would have to hear it from her. But Bianca discovered that Whitney was in such a bad way that she was also unable to bring herself to reveal the truth, and instead convinced Whit that she and Zack were a great match. Zack was relieved when Bianca assured him that she would keep his secret, and he promised to never make the same mistake twice. Lauren, in the meantime, revealed that she and Whitney had a falling out to their cousin Penny Branning, Kitty Castledine. In an attempt to reconcile the two women, Penny took matters into her own hands and locked Whitney and Lauren inside the van Bianca had driven into Albert Square. A furious Whitney was going to smash through the door to get out, but Lauren told her to consider her baby before she started talking about her night with Zack. However, she was startled when Whitney's waters burst, and she was horrified as the two cried out for assistance. Will Whit give birth before Whitney and Lauren are found? Will she figure out what Lauren was attempting to convey to her? Thanks for watching if you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and don't miss any updates.